This week's episode of Fireside is brought to you by Legends of Belize, Diva by Sarah, and Wonders Oddities Expo.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to Fireside Paranormal Podcast. My name is Jordan Cline. Have a great show planned out for you today. My guest tonight, paranormal group Ghouls Paranormal. Before we get to them, just a few announcements.
Legends of Belize is a series about mythical creatures that dwell in the jungles and waters of Belize. The Belizean legends are captured, documented, and preserved like never before in a comprehensive art series and books with fully colored and detailed images of fine art by artists, authors, and award-winning animators Dismas and Grissi G. Discover the supernatural creatures that await deep in the jungles, such as the mysterious dwarf called Tata Duende with backwards feet known to rip the thumbs off of trespassers, or the beautiful shape-shifting woman known to locals as the Ishtabai, who seduces drunks to never be seen again. These creatures and many more can be found in the Legends of Belize books. Learn about the cryptozoological, paranormal, and unexplained creatures that haunt Belize. Be fascinated, be terrified, Belize. Legend of Belize books are available in print and ebook. Buy your copy from your favorite online bookstores such as Amazon, KDP, Apple Books, and many more. Also be sure to visit legendsofbelize.com.
I'm excited to announce an event coming up hosted by one of our sponsors, the Wonders Oddities Expo. This event is going to be October 8th and 9th in the Monroeville, PA Convention Center from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's going to be performers, vendors, speakers, a costume contest, and so much more. I'm going to be there too with my table set up, going to be recording some featured stories, and I got some fun new merch as well, so I would love to see you there.
Want to add some individuality to your drinkware? Diva by Sarah can help. Tumblers, sippy cups, flip tops, and even glow-in-the-dark tumblers available. With tons of designs to choose from and new designs being added all the time. You can order at www.divabysarah.com, or if you're local, buy products in store at Connie's Creative Collective at the Ohio Valley Mall. Have a school or organization that needs a great fundraiser? We can do that too. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Diva by Sarah to see new products, learn about giveaways, and more.
Our first featured story comes in from Trent.
Hi, my name is Trent, and I am living here in Moundsville. I used to work here at the penitentiary, and not that long ago, I want to say maybe a few months ago, I was working in the gift shop, and I was stocking T-shirts. I was just hanging them right up on the wall, and as I turned to put one up, I looked around the corner. Well, no, that's not what happened. I looked towards the corner and I saw something peeking around at me.
Oh, really?
And it was about kind of like child tall. And I could tell that there was supposed to be a face, but there wasn't a face.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it was terrifying. I ended up not restocking that day. I kind of left it for other people. Yeah,
It's like, no work for me today.
Yeah, those shirts stayed underneath that desk for about a week, so because no one else wanted to.
Now, that was the gift shop, right?
Yeah.
Where is the gift shop in the pen?
The gift shop is, if you visit the pen, it's right where you walk in. It's actually right above, if not really close to right above the Sugar Shack.
Okay.
So
for those of you listening, Sugar Shack is like where the most violent crimes in the penitentiary happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about where it was.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, Trent. Up next, we have Stetson with Wolfpack Paranormal.
Stetson Wolfpack Paranormal Investigations from Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Really, it all started for me when I was about 3. I'd wake up around 3 a.m. and see a man walking through the house, and I just wake up, start screaming, crying, and my mom talked to me about it. And I said his name is Frank, and he was carrying a gun walking through the house. And when she would stay up until about that time, you could hear footsteps go down to the basement and the back door open and close.
Oh, wow.
But she never saw the door open or close, just hear it. Her boss at the bar that she worked at, his father had passed away and gave him a gun as inheritance.
Uh-huh.
And this was a very particular gun. It had very particular detail in it. And so one day my mom and her boyfriend were sitting at the table and he seen something behind her. He ran down to the basement, opened up a random newspaper, and pointed and said, "It's Frank,
Oh,
the previous owner of the house."
no.
My mom went to do an exorcism on the house trying to remove Frank, but she removed whatever Frank was protecting me from.
Oh, well.
All the drawers went flying open, furniture moving, doors slamming, and she didn't know anybody that believed in the paranormal, so she went to her boss, and she told him what happened, and that gun had went missing when I started seeing Frank walk through the house.
Oh, wow.
The gun that his father left him was completely gone, and it happened to be the gun that Frank was carrying. And his father and Frank were good friends.
How about that? And you were 3?
Yeah, that's when it all started for me. And ever since then, it's just been constant. Again, I got lifted out of my bed for years. And like I said, I could go on for hours about stories I have.
And what's your group name?
Wolfpack Paranormal
Are you
Investigations.
online?
Yeah, YouTube. We have Instagram. Don't do too much on Twitter, but
All right, we'll check it out. Thank
all
you
right,
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stetson. Up next, Carter.
My name's Carter. I currently live near Kent, Ohio.
Nice.
But my story actually takes place. I grew up in Southeast Georgia, which is one of the most haunted places in the world. We were an hour south of Savannah. And we lived in this old farmhouse. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would hear parties every Saturday.
Parties.
Yeah, I would hear these loud parties, and my mom always said it's the neighbors. They just like to throw parties all the time. So one night I heard it, and I got up in the middle of the night, and I went around the house. I was probably like 6 or 7. I checked every single window, no lights on in any of the surrounding houses. And the next morning, I was like, "Mom, that was coming from like the first floor of our house. Like that was not."
We were having the party.
Yeah, we were having the party. We didn't know that, and she should have. She knew that. She has had many stories from that house. She was alone one day, and she was upstairs cleaning, and she knew that me and my brothers were all at school. My dad was at work, and she heard children laughing and playing in the house. And she also was one time taking a bath, and the bathroom door opened, and this man was standing in the doorway looking at her, and all she said was "go away," and he just like disappeared.
She didn't chase after him or nothing. Just...
Oh, I mean, you're in the tub. Like, what are you gonna do? Slip and fall your way out and bash your head on the toilet? Like, I mean, you know, she's used her common sense and didn't run.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Thanks. It's fun.
Thank you so much, Carter. If you want your story to be one of our featured stories, make sure you send me an email, firesideparanormalpodcast@gmail.com. All right, I want to get to my guest. Join me by the fire as we welcome Ghouls Paranormal from Pennsylvania. Hey, guys, you with us?
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Tell me about you. What part of Pennsylvania are you from?
We're 20 miles north of Allentown, more of the eastern side of Pennsylvania.
Nice, nice. And how do we know it? Because there's 4 of you. We got Janna, Kayla, Anthony, and Jen.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How do y'all know each other? How did you get connected?
So me and Kayla are cousins.
Okay.
So Jen, I say Jen, who's talking, and Kayla are cousins. Janna married Kayla's brother. So they're sister-in-laws, and she's my cousin-in-law. And Anthony's kind of a funny story.
And then there's Anthony.
So the 3 of us started doing, like, Kayla and Janna went to Eastern State, right?
State Penitentiary, as I gave Kayla a gift to go to a ghost hunt with Ghost Hunts USA for an evening, and that's how we got started, and we kind of got hooked on it. And then from there, we went to Mid-Orange County, and we invited Jen along for that. So that's how that got started. And then from there, we kind of
just got addicted.
We got addicted to it, yes.
We've always been fascinated, by it. And me personally, I had kind of like a fear of anything following me home or just anything big happening. But with Anthony, we went to this theater weekend event at Shawnee in the Poconos.
Okay, yeah.
And he was there with a friend, and during like the tour, they said there was this really old cemetery up the street. So we were going to go check out the cemetery, and him and his friend were sitting there. We're like, hey, if you guys want to join us, we're going to go to the cemetery later. And he was like, he was like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. He's like, but don't kill me. It was like the weirdest thing ever. And then we get down there, and Janna ends up falling over a tombstone, dislocating her arm.
My shoulder.
And me and Kayla were with Anthony. Janna was off with his friend, and we heard like this scream. It was like, ah! And as a joke, I lean over to Anthony. I'm like, hey, our friend just killed your friend. He was just kind of like, what? And then after that, he joined us on another investigation, and then he enjoyed it, and we all got along really well, and he just kept coming, and now it's like a Ghouls plus Anthony.
Now they can't get rid of me.
Was it a particular event, Anthony? Was there something that, like, you went on the first one, you're like, you know what, this was a lot of fun, or did you have an experience? Did you see something, hear something, or you're just like, hey, cemeteries are cool?
I just kind of liked it, and since they invited me again, I think I messaged you on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I messaged Jen on Facebook. I was like, that was cool. If you have any more, just invite me. And they had another one, like, I think it was like 2 months later or something, and they invited me. And ever since then, we've just kind of always been doing it.
That's great. How long have you guys been a group all together?
Since March of 21.
Yeah,
Okay.
March of 2021.
With Anthony. And then us three, we were longer. Like 2020.
Mm-hmm.
2020, yeah.
Because I remember COVID kind of put a halt on our, I think we just started right before COVID. Everything shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, man, like, of course it would happen now. So we were, on pause. And then I think we went to the Conjuring House in August.
That was actually July 31st, I think. Yeah. It was the Conjuring House.
Anthony, did you go to that one?
I did not.
Oh.
I missed it.
That's a dream. That's a dream haunt for me, I guess, is the Conjuring House. I'd love to see it. So it's cool. Like you just started. And you're like, you know what? Let's do a cemetery. Oh, this is cool. Let's go to the Conjuring House. Like, let's. You jumped right into it.
Yeah, that's when we bought a lot of our equipment and went to the Conjuring House.
You know what? A lot of people cut their teeth, in farms and out in the woods, and you're like, you know what? Let's go big or go home.
Yep.
Yeah, that was quite the experience.
So, kind of born through COVID, you guys decide to do this. What types of places have you seen? Do you go into residential homes at all? Do you stick to the, I don't want to call it pay to play, but the bigger locations? Is that how you like to do it?
So being so new, we're learning all the time. I personally don't feel comfortable going into personal homes. I rather go where I know there won't be any after effects that would affect a homeowner.
Okay. You don't want to screw something up for somebody? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. We did my house.
But so we did Kayla's house because her house is haunted. But
so, like, here's the deal: we don't want to like go into anybody's home because we don't want to screw anything up, but we're gonna destroy Kayla's home.
She moved in with her boyfriend. She knew there was something there like instantly. and she was telling us about it, and I'm like, we should check that out. I don't think there isn't anything there that's
No.
bad or effective, and I think that's why we felt comfortable going there.
So what kind of experiences have you had at the home?
Oh man. Our dog and I just moved in full time, and I got a key and I went in the house, and my dog Kane lost his ball, and I was like, where's your ball at? And I'm searching all over the house for this thing, and then my phone's on the table and my talk to text starts going off, and I was like, ooh. So I like stopped it. I was like, that was weird. And I was like, Kane, I don't know where your ball is. And all of a sudden it just rolls out of the living room, and I'm like, I think you have to go pee. We should go outside. And I stood outside for like 30 minutes until my boyfriend got home from work. He worked night shift. It was really funny. And then it was like, I was comfortable then because I knew it was helpful. You know, it helped me find his ball.
Well, yeah, it just wanted to play too. It's like, I can fetch.
Exactly.
Anybody else have anything going on in their place?
Anthony does.
What happens there?
So, recently, so about, was it September last month, August, my parents and my whole family was gone from my house for about a month straight. I was in the house alone. They were in Arizona visiting family. And I texted Jen, I swear, every night because I was scared. I was like, hey, like, I swear someone's downstairs right now. And then another time it was like, I'm hearing knocks. Like, I don't know what's happening. I hear people walking, I feel like. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just see if anything's happening. So I have videos of it on my phone, but I put down, you watch our YouTube videos, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have the music box, and I put it down in the hallway, and it was going off constantly in the hallway, and then it would stop for a little bit, and it would go off again. And I was trying really hard to debunk it, and I could not find anything to debunk why it was going off.
Wow. All right, so who do you think, if you were going to make a guess, is there anyone in your team that is not afraid of anything or afraid of everything?
All right, so
it's me.
Janna is not afraid of anything. Nope. She will do whatever and anything, and she's our pillar of strength.
Yep.
Anthony is our group scaredy cat.
Oh, no.
Major scaredy cat.
So
Yeah,
what,
can we
what?
edit that out?
No.
Can you edit
It
that
will
out?
not last 30 seconds alone. No.
What happens? You just you're just there for the thrill of it then, right?
Yeah, and then like I think I'm gonna do something like at Penhurst, they told me to walk down a hallway by myself, and I was like, I'll do it. And I went pretty far, and then like my heart started racing. I was like, you know what? And then I'm just like, what if someone like shoots me or something? Let's run back. I'll run back to someone.
I think for him, it's a big mental game.
But and here's what's funny, because I like to pretend that I'm brave, but I'm chicken as well. I'm like, I'll put up a good face, like, because when I did investigation, we did residentials as well, and there was no way I was gonna let them see that I was scared of anything, like if we had anything going on, just because they have to live in that house after we leave, right? So stone cold, when I'm there, like nothing's freaking me out, but like deep down inside my insides, oh, I'm the biggest chicken ever. And I remember, and I've told this story, I don't know if I don't know if I've done it on the show or in the Patreon, but I've talked about it. One of our first investigations was at the penitentiary in Moundsville, and that's the West Virginia State Pen.
Yeah.
And there was this one, and this was like back before there was any like real equipment. You had like a video camera, a tape recorder, and like an EMF detector. Yeah. I didn't have all the gear. This was like our first night. We took like a ghost hunting class, so I had like my little camcorder on night vision so I could see, and my EMF detector. And they were like, okay, there's this section, North Hall. It's like where they put the worst of the worst of the worst. The hall's all caged in. There's a lot of activity, and it's like this really long hallway. They're like, yeah, just go down that hall. So I feel you on the go down the hall thing. And I'm like halfway down. It's dark. You only see what's in the camera. And if you watch it back, like the EMF meters, like it just starts going wee. The thing goes off, and I'm like in the middle of a hall. There's no electric anything, and you just see like the camera like fall. Like, thank God I had the wrist bracelet thing to hold it. So you see it drop, and you just see my feet like. I'm like, Nick. I'm like calling for my cousin going back. It's like, I'm out. Peace.
That's Anthony.
That's Anthony.
Absolutely.
I just don't think there's going to be anything that happens. That's just me.
So, Janna, are you a skeptic? Like
I'm
you don't.
a big skeptic, yes.
So why investigate for you?
Because I want to believe. I want something to happen. I want it to happen. So bring it on. Just show me something. I want something concrete. I mean, I've had things happen.
So what happens? I guess in your mind, like, what is it that would have to happen for you to be like, okay, there is something?
I mean, we've gone to places where things have happened, but not every place is the same. So not every place you think that, I think that we go to is haunted. Mm-hmm. So, we might go to another location. It's like, okay, you show me this is haunted. So I'm a skeptic going into that place. That's how I am.
All right.
Like the Conjuring House, we had experiences there. I'm going in there thinking, okay, I'm a skeptic, but show me that there's ghosts here. Well, they showed us there was ghosts there.
So for you go into it not believing anything. You're like, okay, prove it to me. And if they prove it to you, you're like, okay, check mark. Yeah. You're good. This is a haunted location. Next.
Now, maybe the next time I go back to that place, I might be a little bit leery of it.
Now, what about you two ladies?
So, I don't know. It's weird because we're family, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. But we feel things.
Okay.
Kayla feels a bit more than I do, but we'll walk into a place or we'll walk into a room, and I'll get a bad feeling, and later after the tour, I'll be like, "So, what did you feel?" And she'll tell me, and it connects. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I find that extremely interesting, but we go in and we don't really want to know the history because we don't want to have any preconceived notions or put any ideas in our head.
So you don't do any, like, I guess for the Conjuring House, that'd be a bit tough, but as far as like researching the area, you try not to do that. You want to go in kind of blind.
Yeah. I mean, we do get like a tour then, and they tell us, like, we went to Wilson Castle and we were like, don't tell us people's experiences or don't tell us you can tell us where the hot spots are, but don't tell us what happened.
Okay.
And we went into this one room and we were like, we don't like this room. And that was the room that he's like, you cannot pay me to sleep in this room. I'll sleep in any other part of the castle, but you cannot pay me to sleep in this room. And we're like, yeah, we can feel it.
Really? Now, would you say like psychic, medium, sensitive, like, what do you like, or you just like have a feel?
I feel sensitive.
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 I would love to be able to get to that level of being like a medium or like being able to communicate, but I'm more of I feel it kind of person, and I can be influenced by them, but I can't hear them and they don't talk to me except for through our little devices.
It's like your spidey sense is tingling.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she did, Kayla did pick out
I did.
In the Wilson Castle,
they said there's a vortex and a portal, and I guess both of the spots.
And she
just by feeling it. Yep.
How about that?
That was pretty weird. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
we didn't talk to her the same way after that.
It was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Now, how do y'all set up, I guess, for an investigation? Do you kind of like pair off in groups of two? Do you all stay together for it? What's your go-to?
It depends on the location. If it's a small location, so I like to try and do more alone things. We'll send like one person off, stay in there for a little bit because you're more vulnerable alone. Usually it's me and Anthony that go, not me and Anthony. It's me and Janna that are the ones going off alone. But we tend to kind of stick by each other. I think we give each other comfort.
Anthony goes off on his own though, right?
No, never.
He wants to. Every time on our way into an investigation, he'll be like, "Yeah, I think we should split up."
I say I'm gonna do it, and then I see the dark hallway, and I'm like, you know what, guys? Let's all just stay close. We don't need to split up. That was a dumb idea.
Yeah, you talk big before going into it. You're like, yeah, it's totally fine. We could do this.
We kind of ignore them because we know it's not going to happen.
What kind of equipment do y'all use?
Everything.
A lot.
As much as we can. We have a spirit box. We have a couple REM pods. We have the cat balls. We have the recorders. We have an SLS camera.
We have a teddy bear that goes off if it's touched. We like
The music box.
you already said that.
Oh, we did.
REM pods.
You said that again too.
I said, yeah, it's part of a REM pod.
No, man.
This is what it's like with him.
Well, that's how guys are. We listen. We don't always hear, but we are listening. If you were, and this is something I like to ask groups as well, if there was like one piece of equipment is your must-have, not including a flashlight, that's a given, but what's your one piece of equipment that you can't go without?
I would say for me, it's the music box. We've had a lot of success on that thing, like a lot of success.
Tell us what that is.
Literally all it is, it's a little tiny box. It has a sensor in the front and it has a switch. You turn the switch to turn it on, it'll calibrate for a little bit, and then after that, if anything walks in front of it, it'll go off. And we've had it go off multiple times in a row, sometimes constantly, and then sometimes we have it not go off at all. What was the Hinesdale house? At Hinesdale house, we didn't go off once, I'm pretty sure.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, we've had it Hinsdale, sorry. But
Green County Poor Farm, it went off.
It went off a lot.
That was an
Yeah.
awesome investigation.
Really?
That was an awesome place.
Yeah.
What all happened there? Tell us some stories.
Oh gosh, I think just about everything happened there.
Mhm.
I saw something. I
We
can't
did.
explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both. Yeah, Janna and Jen did.
If you
And-
watch that back, you'll see it. You'll see a shadow
Do you?
right before I said
tried.
something.
Jason saw it too. My boyfriend paused it, and you could just kind of.
Yep.
It's very. It's.
You can see it right before it said,
Yeah,
because
right
I
before-
said it, and then I was like, we said something. I'm
It's like a
oh,
disturbance
it's right
in it, but it's
Yeah.
not close enough to really like make it out. Unfortunately.
So would you say you saw like a shadow figure?
Something like a shadow. Yes.
It was an apparition. It was white though.
Oh, okay. So what was happening? Like, set the scene up for me. Tell me about it.
So if you watch our video, we did a little skit because this hallway reminded us of Scooby-Doo. So we were creating this little skit and we're running through the hall doing different things, and we run back to the camera to look over the footage, and Anthony had put the music box at the end of the hallway facing the opposite direction, and it started going off. And we were like, whoa, what's going on? And, we started talking and it was responding. And I think in that process, I saw something at the other end of the hall kind of walk in front of the piano that's down there. And I was just like speechless. Like, if you watch the video, you could hear me like I can't talk. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And Jen's like, I saw that. And
But I think it started in the room we were in and went out.
You think it followed you?
No, I think it started and went out and went in and out, because that's where I saw it. When you watch the video, it's in the room and it goes out and goes over. If you watch the video.
Now, have you done any like history research of that place? To match up anything that might have happened there?
we had to tour beforehand, and I guess that hallway is actually very like a hot spot.
Okay.
I think she did say that people did see people walking through there. And the thing with like me personally, the tours afterwards, I forget everything. So I'm always like, what happened in this hallway? Like, what happened? So I find that kind of fascinating because I don't remember. And then Janna remembers a lot, but she'll be like, yeah, she said this spot was like really active. And I was like, really?
We kind of get caught up in the history though too when she's talking.
So
that was more of a history tour.
Yeah,
in that
she,
place.
yeah, she did say a lot of.
Now, what was the
place
name of this
crazy.
location?
The Green County Poor Farm.
Greene County. I've heard a lot. Greene County is a very active location.
That's what, yeah, they said like a lot of the land in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that. We actually did a show, this was months ago, but it was, the guy he's written like 2 books on Greene County alone. Yeah, it's a pretty active location, like that whole section. And then you have like Chestnut Ridge, also. I don't know if you're familiar with Chestnut Ridge in PA as well. I mean, you have not only like a lot of like ghost sightings, UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings. It's like this whole area that's just like eat up completely with paranormal phenomena.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there's a road trip for you. So I do want to ask, because we've had a few people mention the Conjuring House, and then I always get some messages back like, hey, I wish they would have talked more about experiences there. So since you brought it up, can you tell me some of the stories that happened at the Conjuring House? Like, what went on? What did you feel? What's it like there? Is it anything like the movie?
Oh, it's nothing like the movie.
Nothing like the movie. No. And it looks nothing like the movie either, because it's a completely different house.
Well, you can start with the second floor of the house.
Uh-huh.
That's where we had majority of the activity. The middle room, was that Sarah's? What was the girl's name? Sarah? I don't remember. I don't remember the girl's room. What it was her bedroom. But we were going up to investigate that room. Of course, I'm going first. Well, no, they were upstairs already, and I was going first to go into the room. And when I was walking in, Kayla's like, the door's moving. The door was closing.
Really?
In the hallway from the one, because the rooms connect, the hallway. So the door was closing as I was walking in through it. And I wasn't even paying attention because I was carrying all the equipment.
You were looking back at us talking. I was talking to you. Kayla skittered back and was like, the door's closing.
And then I realized, like, all right, who's going first? I'm like, I'll go first. Because we were going into the middle room. So we figured, okay, we'll set up in that middle bedroom, because that's where all the activity back when the Conjuring was happening. That's where the bed levitated, and that's where the girl was levitating apparently in that room, and that's where all the activity happens. And that's where, prior to us going up there, they caught an EVP in that room.
Really?
So we figured we'd go in that room. And when you walk in the room, to the right, there was one of those round chairs.
What?
That's where Jen sat, right at the door.
What is it called? Papas?
I don't know.
It's a P. It's a P, and it's a circular chair.
Papasan or whatever.
See, yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
But you know what I mean.
And then Kayla was in the beanbag next to her on the floor.
I can pronounce that.
I was on the bed, sitting on the edge of the bed. And we had 2 other people that were with us. One was behind me on the one side of the bed, and the other one was behind on the other side of the bed. And we had 2 pieces of equipment, cameras, that we placed in the room. Fully charged batteries. Okay? We put them out, fully charged. We haven't even used them yet that night. That was the first place we went to that we had the cameras running. And then we put cat ball in the hallway where the door moved. Okay? And I was recording with my phone in the hallway. Jen, all of a sudden, she started feeling sick. As I'm recording in the hallway, the cat balls are going off as we're asking questions. And something whispered something to Kayla. She goes, did you hear that? What did they say?
It said my name. It said kale, like the vegetable, but like that's my nickname.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and she
not
said,
creepy
did you hear
at all.
that? We're like, I heard something, but I didn't make it out of what she said because it probably was something I didn't understand what it was saying. So she first heard the disembodied voice for herself. All of a sudden, she's sitting over there with her arms like this, with her hand over her head, on her head, saying, I feel really sick. She like felt really, really sick. And I'm like recording like crazy and trying to get this cat ball because the cat ball kept going off. And I could see the lights on the camera still on. And then all of a sudden we all hear, what's your name?
Ooh.
Another disembodied voice.
So it's audible. What's your name?
Yeah. And then I said, did you hear that? And Kayla goes, did you hear that? I'm like, and she couldn't make it out. Jen couldn't hear.
No, all I heard was a whisper, but it was, no one said anything at first. And the other girl that was with us was like, did you ask that? And you were like, no, I thought you did. And then Kayla was like, no, I thought that was one of you guys. And the other woman was like, why? Because I didn't know why you would ask that. Like, what is your name? Why would any of us ask that? We all knew our names. All I heard was a whisper. And but it was totally audible, like a whisper, but I didn't hear what it said because I was kind of just like,
yeah, you were all like covered your face, your head.
So it was right in the middle of all of us.
Yeah, like right, like this, we were like in the middle of like a triangle.
And as soon as that, we're like, oh my God, we just got a disembodied voice. I looked down at my phone was off.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't recording anymore. I'm like, okay, the other cameras, let's get the other cameras. They're all dead.
No.
The batteries were dead.
Now,
we didn't catch it.
Time frame wise, how fast was all of this?
It was within a 2-hour time frame. Prior to going upstairs, we were in the barn. We were with a ghost event tour company. So we spent time out in the barn. Other people spent time in the house. And I was fine out in the barn. I'm dancing around. And, then we go upstairs and we sit down, and slowly I start feeling my head and my stomach, and I'm popping Tums and just feeling like crap. And I was getting really pissed off because, like, we're at the Conjuring House. This is like an iconic location. Why am I feeling like this? I end up having to tap out. I went downstairs. I tried to, I took ibuprofen, and I'm shaking, like shaking. I could barely like hold the pills. Which I've never had happen before. So it didn't occur to me till a little later how odd that was. And I went and I laid on the couch, and the one woman that was with us, she was a nurse. And she's like, I have some, I don't know if it was Excedrin. She's like, you can take that with the ibuprofen. It won't hurt you. Here, take this. So I ended up taking a nap on the couch.
In the Conjuring House.
In the
Conjuring House. I have a picture. She took it of me. I look like crap, and I'm just like, ugh.
But you're not the one that's not afraid of anything, and you're cuddling up and taking a nap on the couch in the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
I don't think you really cared.
It was so bad. But it wasn't until like even later, like I was not right. And then, I'm not prone to migraines. Like I don't get migraines. And that's what I just kind of thought it was at first. The one guy that was at the house told them not to let me downstairs until I was feeling better. He thought the house was affecting me.
Yeah.
The owner at the time, Corey, said that there was only one confirmed death in the home, and he drank horse ailment and essentially poisoned himself. Now, when they went downstairs to the basement, they got the word poison a couple times.
Really?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until the next day I still didn't feel right. Like it was days until I felt more myself. But I was like, holy crap, what does it feel like when you're being poisoned or you're dying from poison? What do you think you experience when you're feeling poisoned?
So I had to drive home. This is
you don't know what it would feel like. You don't think like you would start to get a really severe headache.
I mean, there's different kinds of poison. I watched like Game of Thrones, when Joffrey kicked it.
And that's the only thing I can think of is that I had a severe headache. I felt like I was vomiting all night, but I wasn't. My stomach hurt so bad. I was extremely shaky, and I didn't feel right for days afterwards. I don't know. It could be a stretch, but it was just a very odd thing.
I would say, definitely in some form or fashion, you were being affected by something, right? Obviously, that's a given. But I know, as far as personally, there are two locations that's happened to me. One, it was a place in Adena, Ohio, and was there with a bunch of people. It's supposedly haunted place. Not a thing happened all night. It was more like, okay, well, we're doing it because we're here. And then on the way home, super sick, pulled over, puked everywhere. Right?
That happened to her.
Yeah,
Mid-Orange
see?
County.
And we kind of researched it a little bit, and they call it ghost sickness.
Really? All right, so
Yeah.
listen to this one. I don't know. Y'all ever been to Tennessee?
No. I
Okay,
haven't.
so
No,
we
I
did.
haven't.
Yeah? Come on, Anthony.
I've been to Tennessee, yeah.
We did it was the Great Smokies National Park, Cades Cove, and they have like this old town. It's like the first town there. It's all settlement stuff. Like you drive around this big loop. It's like a mile or a few miles of a loop, but you like walk off on these trails and there's like these old settlement homes, right? Nothing real going on. It's sightseeing and history. You know, that's why we were there. And we walk up to this one and it's got like the little house, and it's got like the smokehouse. It's just like the guy's whole little farm there. And, you know, it's probably only like maybe a quarter-mile walk, right? It's not big. You know, I'm a big guy, but it wasn't a walk that was going to knock me out. Like my kids walked it and they're tiny. So we like go through, we're looking at everything. We see the time. We're like, all right, well, we don't want to be here all day. Let's head on back. Make the hike back, get into the car. And I'm somebody who is always hot, right? Like I want the air conditioner on all the time. Like, I'm like, man, I am a little cold. And I'm like cranking the heat. And like, all of a sudden, like my wife looks at me and she's like, what's going on? And I'm like to the bone, just shivering, right? I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? I get NyQuil, all that, but something really got me sick. And I end up going back to the room. It's still like, it's not even late. And I'm like on the couch. I fall asleep. My whole body hurt. Like everything hurts. My arm hurts. My legs hurt. My back hurts. Miserable, right? It's like I got a stiff neck, a headache. Next morning, I wake up fine. But like from the time we left that place to the next morning, I was wrecked, completely. So
Yeah.
you know, ghost sickness might be it. Not even to say, I mean, there could have been something vindictive there. I mean, that's a lot of history right there. But
I think Kayla experienced like a ghost sickness. I think I experienced maybe more of an oppression.
okay. Now, what happened with you, Kayla?
The weird thing is, I have a theory. So Jen and I that's where she had her first oppression, was at Mid-Orange. I was oppressed at Eastern State, and I told her about it. And so that's when a spirit projects its emotions onto you, for people who don't know what that is. Usually it's sadness, it could be anger, it could be anything, any kind of emotion. And I experienced sadness when it happened to me. I told Jen all about it, and she's like, that's so cool. Like, you know, wow, that's crazy. So she wasn't there when that happened. We went to Mid-Orange. Her and I are in a jail cell together, or not jail cell, a cell, and we're next to each other. She gets oppressed. So I feel like maybe it took my energy so that I could use its energy to project its emotions into Jen. I don't know. But it drained, like, I was fine on the property. The second we got off the property onto the main road, I was violently ill.
She's like, you have to pull over. I'm
And it
gonna
was
throw up.
right, like we left the gate.
Yeah, it was.
As soon as we were off the property.
So, I mean, what do you think that is? You know, coming from two people that's had that happen to you, do you think, like, maybe the spirit, like, attached to you, and then as you were leaving, it just kind of pulled itself out, and, like, your body's reacting to that?
Honestly, it could be. Like, maybe it can't leave, and it tried to, because I feel like we probably didn't say don't follow us, maybe.
I think we did that time.
Wait, we did that time?
We did that time because we had them bless us.
Oh, wait. I didn't get blessed.
You didn't?
No. They got blessed.
Well, there it is.
I for sure did.
That's what happened.
Everybody else is
went
like,
home
bless
and
us out of here. You're
piggybacked.
like, not for me.
I was like, I'm good.
She was not good.
I wasn't good.
It took us maybe
So
much
next time.
longer to get home because we had to pull over multiple times, and it was she was fine all night.
Mm-hmm.
So for it just to turn around like that,
It was a second, literally seconds.
Now,
It wasn't even a warning.
I do want to ask you this. Like, so you said, like, before you said you got blessed out, because you said, don't follow me. Like, is that a thing? Like, if you say, don't follow me, they don't follow you, is like, if you're a cop, you got to tell me you're a cop.
I guess that's like, It may not be a for sure thing, but I guess it gives us a bit of comfort.
Okay.
Like, you're not allowed to follow us home. You must stay here. This is your home.
Okay. And that's if it works. I mean, it's all theory, right? Everything we do. I'm a prayer. I prayed every time we left a place. I'm like, oh, Lord in heaven, keep it away from me. Lock it in a box and keep it in a closet here.
When I come home. Don't bring it home with you.
Yeah.
All right, so Anthony, since you have been deemed the bravest of the group, I do want to ask: is there one location that you absolutely had the worst time? Like, I am never walking in that place again. Like, totally terrified.
Never walk into that place again. I would say no. I would probably do every place that like we've done again. But I mean, I'm terrified at every place. So.
As long as somebody's with him.
Yeah, if someone's with me, I'll do anything.
Is there a place that stands out to any of you that was like your absolute favorite to do?
Favorite? Penhurst was pretty wild in my opinion. We didn't upload that video yet because we didn't even start editing it, and by we I mean Jen. But I think Penhurst was pretty crazy in my opinion. I don't know what you guys got.
I really liked Selma Mansion.
Now, where's that at?
Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That was where was that? Or what was that one? I don't remember. Is that the one where you can't go on the third floor by yourself?
That's where I got a press.
That's where I threw up.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Anthony got sick too.
That's where I got pulled.
Yeah, that was a pretty wild place.
I think we went in with really no expectations.
Oh yeah, that's where I heard bells ringing.
And we came out like this place was amazing. We're going back in November.
Which one's this?
Selma Mansion.
Summer Mansion.
Selma
Mansion.
Selma.
Yeah, no, I was upstairs on the third floor, and I will never forget. So in the video, we obviously didn't see it in person, but you see an orb go from like the right side of the screen into me, and then right after
backwards from your foot.
He says, I'm starting to feel really pissed off. I need to leave.
Huh.
He stands up, and orbs are a very controversial thing in the paranormal. So anything that seems to move with purpose, I pay attention to.
Yeah.
So he stands up, and it looks like this, something like a small colored, orb, if you want to call it that, comes out of his shoe, seems to shoot around and follow him out the door.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But that was right after my hair was pulled.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then so right after I was pissed off, basically, I was mad. Like I will never forget that. I was mad. I walked downstairs. I'm still pissed off, and we hit the first floor, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. And I go outside and I puke in the bush.
And there's nothing really that caused you to be mad. You were just sitting there, and it just came over you.
Yeah, no, we were just. I don't even think we
were just sitting in chairs, just listening, and
I think we were just. Yeah, I think we did an EVP session, and you were kind of listening to the recorder, and he's like, I gotta leave. I'm really pissed off. And we're like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what happened after you puked? Did it like go away?
Yeah. So I literally went downstairs, threw up in the bush outside, and I was fine. I was like, I'm good.
Now, were there any experiences outside?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, Kayla, I think we're onto something with the whole like the ghost is ripping away, making you sick. Because as soon as he left the house, he couldn't leave.
Kayla ended up having like, it's in the video.
It's weird. It's embarrassing, actually.
She's over in Janna is over in another room. We're doing an SDS session, and we're playing with a safe that they have down there. And Janna goes, watch this. And we're like, watch what? What's going to happen? We're playing with the safe that supposedly they were protecting at one point. And Kayla starts to feel like this really cold. And then
like you were describing, like bone, in the bone, like inside out cold. Not like outside in. It was like from the bone.
Yeah.
Like my bones were icicles.
And she kind of starts like crying and then laughing at the same time. And I'm like,
it was like a manic episode.
Oh.
I'm like, Kayla, what's wrong? Are you okay? She goes, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like crying. And I'm like, we gotta go. Let's get up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get out of the room. And she kind of explained how she felt.
Man,
That was cool.
wow. And this was all at the Selma Mansion.
At Selma Mansion.
Oh, check that place out, folks. Now, Kayla, what is your favorite location?
It's a toss-up, I think, between Selma Mansion and the Crescent Sanatorium.
Okay.
Is it Torium or Terium?
Oh, it's one of those, but just...
I got hit on by a ghost, so kind of a big deal.
Nothing. What do you mean you got hit? Please explain.
We spoke to the most vulgar
Oh, yeah.
spirit we've ever encountered.
Okay.
Vulgar. And it's just funny because it was another SCS session. So Janna was on the headset, and she has extremely good hearing. So we kind of always tend her like,
Yeah.
hey, go do this, because she hears things really well. And
bionic ears.
the things that were coming from Janna was not something that she would either make up or say, because like, can I get a little inappropriate?
Yeah, go
Am I
for it.
okay to curse?
Well, hey, let's save that for Patreon.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to say it now and you'll clip it out?
Oh no, you can give maybe a couple little hints on some things, but I want to hear the real one in a minute.
So this spirit actually asked if she does inappropriate favors.
Janna, your mouth.
And Janna at one point was like, what is going on?
I didn't know what was going on or what they were asking. I don't know if they're provoking it or what.
And this spirit hated Jen. It had it out for her.
Oh wow.
It was being so mean to her, and we'll fill that in later as well. Yeah.
All right, well, Janna, what was your favorite place?
My favorite place was really the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
It really was, even though it wasn't like our private investigation. It was a Conjuring House because that was the first place I heard the disembodied voice.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's favorite place is one that like, hey, it's all by yourself and alone. Like, there's some good stuff that happens out of these. Again, I hate to say it, but the pay-to-play groups, like, because energy is out there and moving, and things happen. So yeah, I've had some really cool experiences. The one where I was walking and dropped the video camera, and chickened out. Like, that was a big group, haunt. So yeah, that kind of stuff happens. Where can folks find you? Where can they get in touch with you? Are you approachable?
We're always approachable.
Oh yeah, we're very.
We're on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube. We have an email. Usually, if you just type in Ghouls Paranormal, our information will pop up.
Facebook
too.
Oh yeah,
We just made Facebook.
We just made a Facebook page.
Nice. Perfect. Well, I want to thank you all so much for coming out. Obviously, we're going to have you back on. I think I was talking to Anthony on Twitter. Was it? No? Who was I talking to?
You may have been talking
Jen.
to me.
Might have been talking to Jen that, hey, this isn't the last time I'm going to have you on.
Yeah.
So
That was me.
definitely, I want to keep in contact and keep this communication open, because I want to hear different stories as things go on and different locations. I love stories. So
Sure.
we will talk again. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, you have a great night.
You
too.
too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
And with that, the fire is out. Thank you so much, Ghouls Paranormal. Thank all of you for listening. I love and appreciate all of you. If you haven't had the time to connect with me online yet, check me out, Fireside Paranormal Hub on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, at Fireside Parapod, Parapod. I'm on TikTok. And do make sure you check out that Patreon. Patreon's something definitely up and coming with what we do here on the show. Tiers start at just $1. We have giveaways, name drops, Discord servers. The interview section of the show is uncut and uncommercialed, so ad-free. And there's also the after interview bonus audio that's available as well. So lots of goodies. Like I said, it just starts at $1. Patreon.com/Fireside Paranormal. We have our website, firesideparanormal.com, where you can get your sweet, sweet Fireside merch. And that is all the time we have for this week. Until next week, everybody, don't be afraid, only believe.